Anybody buying that?
No. If they want him, it can't be good.
Okay. There is. Have we had? Okay.
Yeah, they are.
There is somebody else out there.
Several.
There is several other people out there. She's one, he's one, and he's the same one as that one over there. Rick Santorum. I got you, boss lady. Rick Santorum he's always been conservative. He didn't accidentally work for Al Gore's campaign back in the 80s before he had that cathartic epiphany moment of change. He does not believe in anthropogenic global climate change. He's just conservative. So because he doesn't have all of those little idiosyncrasies, he's very easy to separate. Like other people, he has the regular problems that everybody else had. His house is flooded. So, a DNA match is just about as good. Ladies and gentlemen, Rick Santorum's sister, Elizabeth Santorum.
I'm actually his daughter. Not his sister. He is not that young. Good evening, everyone. I just want to thank you so much for having me. And I'm sorry it's not my dad. As he said, our basement's under about 3 inches of water. So my dad's home helping my mom and my 6 younger siblings to kind of mop things up. And I can promise you the government isn't helping us to bail us out of that one. Yay! Now, I'm excited just to come here with you and share a little bit of just about my daddy. Now, my dad is a man with strong convictions. He is so passionate about our founders' vision for America because it is based on such a revolutionary concept, freedom. I don't think we appreciate how incredible that concept was, that when our founders made the Declaration, they said that rights came from a creator, not to a king, but to each and one of you.
That's right. That's right.
As our Declaration says, we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, among these life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Now, I always like to notice it doesn't say the guarantee of happiness. We were given the tools with which to pursue happiness. These are life and liberty. The rest was up to us.
Amen.
That's right.
My grandfather and my great-grandfather came to this country from Italy. They're immigrants. They left this picture-perfect town on a lake in northern Italy and the security and safety of a government job. My great-grandfather worked in the coal mines of western Pennsylvania till he was 72 years old. For one reason. Freedom.
That's right.
He sacrificed everything, not for the guarantee of happiness, but so that he could pursue it freely. That is a gift, and I am so proud. I am so proud of my grandfather, my great-grandfather, and my father. Stories like ours happen here in America.
That's right.
Because we believe in the capacity for human greatness. My dad is running for president because he sees that these foundational values in our nation are slipping away. That America my grandfather came to is not the America we are now. But my father can take this country back to its foundational roots and lead us back to the glory we used to be by getting the government out of our lives. Yay! Now, I know many candidates have, high-paid consultants and they have fancy speechwriters. Well, my daddy has me. But he speaks from the heart, and he speaks from his record, which is conservative through and through. He got things done, and he was a leader, and he was successful in Washington. Against Bill Clinton and the Democratic Party, he got things done. He knows how to lead, and he knows how to win. When my dad is elected president, the first 3 things he will do are repeal Obamacare. Yeah. Come on, clap. It's got to be done, folks. We got to get it away. We need to bring manufacturing and jobs back to America.
Yes.
And we need to pass a balanced budget amendment to the Constitution. My dad knows we must repeal Obamacare. It is one of the worst bills that has ever been passed in our lifetime. First of all, because it is unconstitutional.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Second of all, it is a drain on our economy. It is a drain on our healthcare system.
Yep.
In fact, since the passage of this bill, healthcare prices have already risen. I mean, it's no wonder to me that Nancy Pelosi, when debating about this bill, said, We have to pass it before we know what's in it. Shocking.
What an idiot.
Now, how many of you watched the president's speech last night? Now, he kept saying over and over again, you gotta pass the bill. You have to pass the bill. Really? Before we know what's in it? Does this sound familiar, like what happened with Obamacare?
Yes.
America, we're not gonna be fooled again. Now, we're gonna bring manufacturing and jobs back to America. I grew up in Pennsylvania. It's a steel-producing state. I've spent the past couple weeks here in South Carolina. You guys used to be famous for your textile industry, your manufacturing. It is so sad to see our state, these great states, with high unemployment rates and people saying we will never have manufacturing in America again. I disagree, and so does my dad. He often said that he has never met a manufacturer who wanted to outsource their businesses, who wanted to go overseas. That middle of America, when my dad was little, was 21% manufacturing. It's now 9%. Where do you think the middle of America went? Overseas. China. Malaysia. There we go. Now, my dad has a plan that was just endorsed by the oldest manufacturing association in Pennsylvania, the Pennsylvania Manufacturers Association. They endorsed my dad's plan because the first part of the plan is to cut the corporate tax rate for any manufacturer who manufactures in the U.S. from 35% to 0. If you want to make things, if you want to bring jobs back, we want your business here. We need to repatriate foreign income at a 5% tax rate rather than the current 35% it's at. We need to bring those revenues back to America and reinvest them in our economy. I mean, a recent study alone said that just repatriating income could bring 1.6 million to 4 million jobs back to America. We want those jobs here. And we must reduce the regulatory burden on our manufacturers. And we have to look to be energy independent. I know, I'm 20. I'm a part of the generation that the media will tell you is all for green jobs and green energy. I mean, that's great. Green jobs, green energy, solar power, wind power. But I guess I know something the media doesn't. The sun doesn't always shine, and the wind doesn't always blow, am I right? We need to invest here because that is what we need now. We need to be energy independent to support our manufacturers. And thirdly, the balanced budget amendment. Now, many people think that this is a pipe dream. You can't get it done. But my dad disagrees. The balanced budget amendment was the first bill he co-sponsored when he was a junior senator back in 1995. It failed only by 1 vote. I mean, we can get this done, ladies and gentlemen. The reason this has not happened yet was, you look, Democrats in Washington, and let's admit, some Republicans too, they don't want the backstop around spending because it means that it is illegal to spend more than you take in.
That's right.
This is why my dad believes that his plans will get America jump-started again to those foundational values that made America great and leading us to a brighter future. My dad loves this country so much, and he is the only one running for president who has the experience of getting these things done on all of the issues we face today. Social issues, entitlement reform, national security, and moral economic issues. He has the experience, the courage, and the vision. And he can win tough elections in tough states. In fact, he is the only candidate that has ever defeated a Democratic incumbent. Something we're going to need to do. And he did it 3 times in a state that has 1 million more Democrats than Republicans. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as you consider who you're going to be supporting in this election, I just ask you to consider, look at the record, look at who has practiced what they preach, who has stuck true to their values and been a leader. Don't let the media decide this next election. Do not let the pundits in Washington, D.C. and New York City pick your next president. Go out there and choose a candidate and be active. Now, thank you for your time, and I hope you'll join me in supporting my dad to be president.
We pick president.
To my credit, I did get her first name in a part. And I apologize for that, young lady. Next up, by the way, I'm very happy to be amongst the terrorists and the dirty SOBs. And we're supposed to go somewhere south. Next up is one of the groups by name that Lucy Napolitano has identified as a possible group of interest as far as domestic terror. From the Americans for Prosperity, ladies and gentlemen, Chris Farr.
Terrorist number one, right here. Don't I look like it? Good evening, my brothers and sisters from South Carolina. I'm the state grassroots director from Americans for Prosperity in North Carolina. Down here south of the border, and I think it's a few degrees hotter down here too. I was at McDonald's on the way from Greenville, where we were earlier today, and they don't give us enough time to have a real meal in between these things, so I stopped at McDonald's and had a little snack. The guy in front of me said, "Have you heard about McDonald's new Obama value meal?" And I thought, oh, surely not. Surely McDonald's has not fallen for this. And then he said, "You just order everything you like and the guy behind you will pay for it." That's about right. Americans for Prosperity wants to thank Tea Party Express. They let us kind of tag along on this trip. That is our Jumbotron that we're dragging around the country right up here. You're going to see in a little bit a question, and you can text your answer to it, and then at the end of this long tour on Monday night after the presidential debate, you'll be able to get the response. You'll also be able to get a bumper sticker they'll send to you, and you just text 46262, and then we'll send you the results, send you a bumper sticker. And I got a secret for you. If you want a bumper sticker, come over and see me here. I'll be here another hour or so. Keep in touch with Americans for Prosperity. We've got a lot going on, and we do everything we can to let you stay on top of the issues. We are a nonpartisan, nonprofit, grassroots action organization. Our mission is to educate and activate voters to get involved in the public policy process. And when I found out I was coming to South Carolina, I said, you know, what about this Boeing thing? Is that not the most incredible thing that I've been reading about? Did you ever think that we would live in a country where our federal government would start deciding where companies, private companies, can build and expand? I mean, this is, you know, we're starting to get a little complacent because Obama's been in power for a while. But I'm going to tell you something, that is frightening stuff, guys. It is very, very frightening, and we have got to fight this. Americans for Prosperity has gotten involved in a nationwide effort to support the legislation that Congressman Tim Scott from here in South Carolina, he has started H.R. 2587, and that is called Protecting Jobs from Government Interference. Can you believe that we have to have legislation in Washington, D.C. to protect jobs from our own government? We're going down a really bad path here, folks, seeing a really bad pattern. So come over here and I'll tell you how to join the petition to help your congressman fight that with that legislation. I've got a very short union story for you. I grew up in Michigan. I'm going to tell you something about Michigan, everybody. The unions have been strong there for as long as I can remember, long before. People are moving out of Michigan in droves. The price of house have plummeted. The unions, although they might have started for a good reason, they got way too big for their britches, way overreach in the unions, and it has practically ruined my beautiful home state. And so that's, you know, when I was a little girl, my daddy was in a private factory, small plastics factory, and I used to go visit him there. It was no union, but the unions were constantly trying to come in there and organize. And one day, all of these trucks pulled into my farm where I grew up. I grew up on one of those big Midwestern farms with the big red barns. All of these trucks pulled in behind our big red barn to hide. And guess who they were hiding from? The union leaders. They had to move equipment out of the factory so that the unions would not come in and ruin this equipment. This is what union leaders can be about. I'm not saying they're always about, but they can be. And so when the NLRB comes in and tells companies where they should go and where they should build, that should be a real red flag to everybody. 2012 is going to be a big year. We're all going to have to work again. You know, we've worked so hard in the Tea Party rant started in early 2009. That's only a little over 2 years ago. It seems like forever, because a lot of us have been working really hard for a long time. But 2012 is a very big year. We're going to have to keep working. You need to rejuvenate yourself, get motivated, get excited, because I'm going to tell you, the unions and all the rest of that bunch are coming after us. And we're going to have to fight a little bit harder and a little bit smarter. Thank you so much for what you do, and thanks for having me here.